Hi guys, and welcome to CC 2018 updates in After Effects. There is one update that is really tremendously helpful, and I encourage you to learn it and start using it. It will change the way we used to use mask and path. Actually, it's extremely powerful for certain animations. My aim in this section is to explain to you how it works, what's the concept. And I will add a few simple examples. Later on, we can expand on these examples and use it with your videos with a lot of motion graphics, and can do powerful motion graphics, believe me. So let's create a new composition. You are in 2018, click on New Comp in the middle, and let's keep it Comp 1, we don't care. 1280 by 720 is okay for the course, but you can come and choose whatever you like. Cool. Let's create our comp. Within the comp, I will choose a rectangle, but I will create a Bezier path rectangle. Here you are. So make sure Bezier path is selected. I will draw just a simple rectangle. Now within the rectangle, you know very well there is path 1 and there is path. This is because it's a Bezier. I'm sure that at the stage of this course, you already know how to animate the path itself. You click on the stopwatch to start the animation, come after some time, whatever, use your selection tool, shift click on the path, and then you can start moving the points. I'm gonna call them points from now on because this is what Adobe After Effects started calling them, and not vertex or vertices. So you can change the points, as we said, for example, something like this, and then you have an animation with the mask. Pretty cool, pretty fine, very tedious to animate on 10 or 20 seconds. I will delete the keyframes here. Go back to the original. Now, I will select the Bezier path. To use the new feature, you go to Window, and at the bottom here, you will find Create Nulls from Path.gsx. So it's not an effect. You click on it, and the panel Create Nulls from Path will appear. Actually, it will be a floating panel. I just put it on this side. It has three options here. Points follow nulls. So these are the points, and surely some nulls are going to be created. Nulls follow the points, or trace path. Let's focus in this lecture on points follow nulls. Now, first of all, you need to select your path. If you select only your layer and you go points follow nulls, it will give you an error. So you need to select a path. Here you are. And I will go points follow nulls. And then 4 nulls have been created connected to the corners. Let's change the color here. Let's give it, for example, something yellow. We can see them. Yes. Cool. I will unselect. Now you have 4 nulls here that are connected to every point of the path. So now, if you click on one null, for example, and start moving it, you notice that the point is moving with the null. This is pretty awesome. I'm sure you already have a lot of ideas how you're going to use it and for what. Here you are. I will undo all this. Let's create a very simple animation. Of course, now to animate the points, you will be animating the nulls themselves. If you select all of them, press P for position. Here you are. Then come after some time here and just select one of them, move it. You notice you have a motion path, which is pretty cool. Okay, I will move it, and notice I have a motion path here and another one here. Very, very efficient. And now I don't care about, how the path is and keyframe it all along the way. In fact, here you are, you got one single simple animation with very little work. So animating now a busy shape or a path has become very easy. This is the concept of points follow nulls, meaning it will create the nulls for you and you can animate the nulls. That's very fun. Let's select all of them here and just delete everything. Cool. Now let's go to the pen tool, and that's gonna be interesting. If you draw a path, here you are with the pen tool. Let's bring this one here and this one like this. Cool. Now I will select the shape layer. This is of course a Bezier shape that inside shape 1 you have a path 1 and you have a path. I will say points follow the path. Here you are. I don't know why it's creating with this color. It's jealous from my shape. And I will change the color here to, I don't know, lavender this time. Yeah, that's better. So now you have the 4 nulls and you are able Using position, for example, you will be able to animate each and every one of them. In the next lecture, I will give you very nice example to do line graphs. The first practical example I would like to give you is to create animated line graph. If you've taken my course about expressions in infographics, you will notice that there I will use the beam effect. But now it has become much easier, and surely I have to update the course. So let's start creating our animated infographics line graph. Here I created a grid, a very simple grid. I pre-composed it, and we are going to draw the line graph on top of it. Cool. So let's take the pen tool here. Stroke is 5 and 5 pixels. I will start, let's say, from over here, go down, go up. For example, I'm doing it randomly just to do something nice. Here you are, that will do. So now we have our line graph and we would like to animate it. Now it's very easy. I will just go to the path 1. Okay, that's path 1. And then inside path 1, we go to path and points follow null. As simple as this. Okay, let's open them all. We come to half second. This is the last stage we want. Select them all, press P for position and keyframe them. Here you are. Now in the at 0 second or in the beginning, we want just to choose one of them and decide that it's going to be on top of the X bar here. So I will decide, I think it's the last one over here. I'll deselect all of them. Yes. And take it down, for example, just over here. I guess 670 will do. Here you are. And then I have to change each and every one of them, of course, for the Y. I cannot select all position and change. It will also change the X itself. Okay, so now we have a very nice animation that's coming up. Cool. You can come after 2 seconds, for example, just over here and keyframe again. Let's select all of them. Here you are, except this shape layer. And then we keyframe again. Then come after half a second and simply just select one of them, press shift and start moving them around, and you have a very nice animated graph. Now it will be much better if you had certain realistic values that you are using. Cool. And here we are. Okay, let's see our animation. It starts, it stops a bit, then it changes states. Very cool. Of course, what you would like to do now is just to synchronize them or time them, something like this, whatever you like. Okay, I'm doing it very fast because it's really actually it's very easy now. And you press spacebar. Here you are, one comes after the other, and then they change state, something like this. It came up very funny. Cool, guys. So this is about how to draw from now on your line graphs or your animated infographics. I will see you in the next lecture with another example about the area graph. In this lecture, guys, you are going to create an animated area graph. It's actually not about the area graph. It's about how to animate a mask. Remember, we were animating path. Now we move on to animate a mask. How are we going to create the area and how are we going to create our mask? This is pretty easy, by the way. Let's make it a bit bigger. And then I will right click and obviously I'm going to add a new solid. Here you are. Let's make it as big as the comp. Let's change the color a bit, something like this. We'll do very bright. That will do nice. And we say, okay. So you have now your solid layer and you want to create a mask that will represent the graph area. To do that, you will use the pen tool, of course, and to draw a nice mask, you just put off the layer itself, but you keep it selected. And now we start drawing. This is the first point over here. Then you come over here. You can keep it in line or drag to make it a Bezier. We are going to use Bezier now just to show you how it will look like. In fact, with line, it will look better, but we want to learn about the Bezier. Here you are. Then I will put the last one just over here. And then the one on the bar itself, of course, you need to adjust it later on, we play with it. And then close the mask. So now you have created a mask. Let's put on our layer. And here you are, you have the area. You can, of course, use your selection tool. I press V. And here you are, you can adjust this one the way you would like. Okay, so it's looking neat. A bit better. Yeah, that will do here. You adjust every single point in the mask. After you are happy from your area, if you're happy from it, I would change it. If it were me, you select your solid layer. Of course, you scroll down. You want now to select the mask. Okay, it's a mask path. So it's still a path, but it's a mask path. Then you go to points, follow nulls. Here you are. And it has created all the necessary nulls for each point. Let's change the color here. It keeps on getting jealous from my colors. I will click over and say, let's make them peach, something like this. Yeah, we can see them. Of course, there are 2 points that we don't want to move. That's the one on the bottom left and the one on the bottom right. Let's look at the position of this one, and we notice it's 671. Let's make it 670, and we come to this one. Also, we scroll down the position and make it 670. So now we have a straight line. Fine. I will lock these two, 1, 2, and you know what? You can change their position within your timeline. I will unlock them again to change the position. I'll take both of them and drag them down, and now lock them. Of course, they are layers, so nothing has changed in your graph. Now, of course, I will select the one I want to animate, go to half second, and open the position, keyframe the position over here. Cool. Come back to the beginning, and now we can move them the way you want. We don't have to move them to 0, you can just make it animated. So we do something like this. See this one down from here and the others from here. Okay, something the way you want. But remember, these are curves, so it's not possible to have a straight line here unless you start working a lot. So I'm gonna just do it like this for the sake of animation. Let's take this one up. Why not? Cool. So now you have your animation. Notice exactly, guys, now you have animated a mask, and that's the beauty of it. I will select all the keyframes, give them an easy ease as usual. You can also come and play with the easy ease here. Just make them a bit speedy. For example, let's take them over here and then move them all to this side. Press Shift and Control. Here you are. Let's see our animation now. Not bad. So actually here the lesson, what's most important is you have animated a mask, and this is extremely powerful. And when you're working with your videos, you can create a mask and move it the way you would like, not necessarily with the video, but you can move it and animate it the way you would like. I know this was very easy, but notice when you have simple examples, you get to learn the concepts even much better. Now, your turn, go and try to create lots of new things using points, follow nulls. You can do it with masks and shapes and whatever you like. I will see you in the next lecture with the next topic, which I would like to do is trace path. In this lecture, we wanted to explore the trace path. And you will notice how amazing it's going to become to use this kind of motion graphics, and extremely useful when you're doing path or masks on videos. But let's take a very simple example. What is the trace path? Let's go to our shape layer and select our path and create a trace path. Let's click on it, and you will notice a new layer has been created. This is null 50 for me here. If I press enter, I'm gonna call it trace path or trace null, the way you like. And let's go now and see what happens inside the trace path null layer. You will notice now there is an effect, and in this effect you have trace path effect. Let's double click on it, and it will open in the effect control. You will notice there is progress and looping. Well, that's pretty interesting. And you have 2 keyframes over here. Let's scroll down. We have these 2 keyframes. If you scrub through, you will notice that the null layer is moving along the path itself, or the line, or our graph if you like. But also there is something else that is amazing. You notice that it is oriented according to the path. Here you are. Notice how it's going to change orientation. Here it is. Cool. So let's attach some graphic to it and see exactly how it happens. Let's go to our project here, and we have the car. Then I will take the car and drop it inside the composition. It's a very big car. That's cool. Let's now parent it to the trace path. I will click on the pickwick, but I will press Shift to make it jump to the position of the null layer itself. Here you are. So it jumps over here. It is upside down. You will see why it's upside down later on. But then we can open the car now, the scale, and make it, for example, 30% only. Cool. It's still upside down, but if you scrub through, as soon as you start, here you are, it is in the direction or the orientation of our path. Cool. To rectify this, if you like, just eat a couple of frames from here is no problem. Here you are, it shows like it is completely straight. Okay, few of them. If I press spacebar now, notice how the car is going very fast along the path, and notice the orientation is already fixed. Imagine how much work it has saved you. Or you already have the whole motion and you're cool with it. If you're doing some animation or some presentation, you are really done and it's pretty nice. Cool, guys. Let's look at the trace path itself. And we said we have an effect here and we have 2 keyframes. I want to press spacebar to play it. Now, if you take the time or the last keyframe, if you like, and make the time longer, notice how it goes now much slower. Here you are. You can even make it much, slow. Here you are. Okay, so these 2 keyframes are determining how the progress is. If you take it now very near, you have some crazy animation. Cool, guys. Let's take it to 2 seconds. Here we are here. That's pretty cool. The loop here is going to loop these 2 keyframes. If you put the loop off, here you are, it sticks to the end after it has arrived. Okay, or simply you can take this keyframe, put it at the end if you like to, and if you play, it's very slow now for us, but the car will come at the end of the path when the time is over or the animation is over. Here you are. Pretty cool, right, guys? So imagine how much saving you have. First of all, you forget about the orientation, orient to path, if you remember, and you forget about the loop out expression. It's already all done for you. Of course, this is a naive animation, but it's pretty cool, guys. Don't you think so? So this is about the trace path, as simple as this. The applications here are very many, and trace paths can be very useful. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next lecture.